how's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a familiar face with us again, and she could say her name and what she does and all that.
Hello, people. My name is Sammy Cannillo. I am a musician. I guess I would say I'm like an indie, alternative, sometimes folk, sometimes dream pop musician. I live in Chicago right now. Last time Brandon and I had spoke, I was in New Jersey, so that was a bit of a change. I moved to Chicago, and I'm excited to be on the show.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. I always love doing the second interviews because I feel like we kind of touched on some stuff last time, but this time I feel like I can go a little bit more in depth. But as you mentioned, you went to Chicago. You now live in Chicago. So how has that been? How's the transition been? How's the music scene out there? I know it's probably much different than New Jersey, but I also saw you played I don't even know if I'm going to pronunciate it right. It's Soflar. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
That was really cool to see because I know they are massive in the indie scene going on now. So how's that been? How's Chicago been and all that stuff?
Yeah, so Chicago's been great. So I actually moved here to get my master's, which is totally irrelevant for my music life. But so during that time, I sort of had to take I couldn't perform as much as I had wanted, but I was able to investigate a lot about the scene here and the places that I should be playing, the people that I should be meeting, etc. But yeah, once I graduated in last December, I've been playing a bunch of shows, releasing new music, and yeah, the Chicago music scene has been very great, welcoming. I've met some really, really awesome people here. It's definitely a different vibe than both the New Jersey and New York scenes that I was sort of a part of. Yeah, it's definitely a really good culture of encouraging artists that want to help each other grow and succeed. So I've loved it.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
how was playing last night? I know that must
Yeah.
have been really cool. And how did that opportunity come up? Is it something that you asked to do, or did they were hey, would you like to come on and do you play some music and stuff like that? Because I would, if it was me, I was a musician in that position, I'd be freaking out because that's such a cool I see videos online and I'm that's really cool. So it must have been a amazing honor to be on something like that.
Yeah. So I had heard of So Far Sounds a while ago. And the reason I got connected to it was my friend Jeff Mills from the band Violet Crime, which is a Chicago
Okay, yeah.
band who are awesome. They're incredible. I love them. I see them pretty much every time they play if I can. Yeah, so he kind of put in a good word for me, and he was like, "Hey, So Far Sounds, there's this new Chicago person. Check her out." And yeah, that's how it started. And then last night was really cool. So it was the premise of the event, or the So Far thing, is kind of secret location, secret artists.
Yes,
So
yeah.
the people who are coming don't know where it is. I actually didn't even know where it was until I showed up. I was curious. I'm where am I going to be? Am I going to be in an apartment, or I don't know, a hair salon? I don't know. But it was a really nice, huge loft apartment in downtown Chicago, and it was great. 50 people showed up. It was sold out. Got to play some songs alongside some other talented folks, and yeah, it was really great. People really liked my set, and I had a blast. It was so much fun.
That's awesome. Well, glad to see you're getting some love out in Chicago. But my next thing is you had mentioned previously your work. You have some new music coming out. So how has that process been? I know I did a review of your first EP. So how have you changed as a musician? Has your writing style changed? Has your thought process changed since the first EP and kind of having an EP out now and going through that? So have you felt you've made some more economical changes to how you write or how you record stuff, or do you feel I'm gonna keep to the same things and kind of do the same stuff?
That's a good question. Yeah, because I put out two of my EPs, produced totally by myself in my
Hmm.
bedroom with no one else, and I took so much pride in that. But
Yeah.
uh, when I listen back to them, I love them. still. But like once I moved here, I realized like I don't want to keep making music alone in my room anymore. Like I want to play with people. Like I
Yeah.
want to start collaborating more. Not that I'm playing with like a ton of people, but so I just released a single. It's called "What Happened," and the process for that was like really fun. I got to work with my current roommate. His name is Joe. Um, and yeah, he produced it and I wrote it, I guess. But like it was a very kind of like collaborative thing. We sat together and did a lot of stuff for it. And working with him was like really, really awesome, and I think helped take the song to like a level beyond what I would just
Yeah.
with my own brain. So yeah, hopefully we work together more in the future. Yeah, and I've just been like trying to meet friends in the Chicago scene, sort of playing with people here and there, and like kind of dabbling in different groups just for fun. But my process of like recording my own tunes has
Hmm.
definitely changed to include Joe, and it's been awesome. I don't know. Did you get a chance to listen to the song?
Yeah, I did. It was really different from, like some of your older work, and I thought it was really like thought out. It was methodical, and like the way that you did it, because like I focus mainly on like just like hearing stuff, like listening to it. Like I know some people like focus more on like the lyricism factor of like the music, but like I've always been like, because I play guitar and stuff, like I've
Right.
always been focused on like the instrumentation, like how it's written, and like I feel like what you're doing now with like with Joe, I feel like was really just like more honed in from like what you had previously. It just feels a little bit more like connected, and like the
Yeah.
song structure is just a little bit more like in tune. So
Yeah.
I was stoked on it, and that's again mainly one of the reasons why I like hit you up again. I was like, hey,
Cool.
let's do something. But I was like, this is really interesting, and I think that I may not have like a heavy hand in like indie music, but I love it. I'm a big fan
Cool.
of that sort of stuff. So like
Thanks for
it,
listening.
it was very cool. So people check it out. It's very sick, per usual. But getting into some more fun stuff, Sam. Obviously, you're adding to your repertoire of people on your team, essentially. But if you could compile a musical supergroup, who would be in your band?
Oh my God. So am I in the band, or like is this a band that I can see
I feel
perform?
like I feel like if you want, you should do it with yourself. Like that's the
Oh
whole
my
idea.
God.
I feel like that'd be tight.
So it might not seem this way, but like one of my dreams is to like just play guitar in a band, like play lead guitar and just kind
Hmm.
of like not have to sing and like do all the fun person thing. It's fun and all, but sometimes it's like kind of tiring. But yeah, so let's see. Um, could I just like be in Paramore? Or one time I had a dream that I was going to purchase. So I think this is my real answer. I
Okay.
was about to purchase a Tegan and Sarah album. I
Ooh,
was at the
nice.
record store, like flipping through, and I was like about to buy like the Con or something in my dream. And then Tegan and Sarah come over to me, and they were like, see me buying the record, and they're like, we know that you're really interested in us. We've seen your music, and we really need a third member. So they asked me to be in the band. Yeah, that's. Let's go with that. Is
That's
that
the
like it was a dream, so it might happen?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe it's just like, I feel like if you have like that vivid of a dream, like I feel like it might
Yeah.
surface eventually. I always hope that that's what happens. Like if I'm like, yeah, like I would love to be in this band or whatever, and they're like, dude, like thanks for picking up our record. Like now do you want to be like
Yeah.
guitar player or whatever? And that would be sick. So, but I'm not gonna disclose that because I feel like that it's not my thing, and it's also
What, your
the
band?
other.
Okay, I want to hear now. You have to tell me.
I don't know. Like if I mean, my favorite band, which I got to interview this past year, I the Mighty. They don't need another guitar player, but if they would ever like to have another guitar player, I would very
Okay,
much like to be their guitar player. So,
that's
that
cool.
that would be my dream. That would
Yeah.
be
Is that the
shooting it at
shirt you're
them.
wearing?
That is the shirt I'm wearing as
Oh,
well, just
nice.
to kind of like come full circle and wear the shirt, also talk about them, and now I'm just here. Anyway, next question, Sammy, is another fun one as well. If there was a album that you wished you wrote or you could call your own work, what album would it be?
Okay, I hate to bring up the same band, but my favorite album of all time, one of my favorite albums of all time is Sainthood by Tegan and Sara. It is just like everything. It is everything I could ever aspire for, ever. Lyrically, sonically, like conceptually. It's everything. I love it so much. I highly suggest you check it out. Start to finish, it's just a great album. Yeah, I have a signed copy of that framed in my room. I love it
Oh,
that much. Yeah.
that's
Have
cool.
you heard of it? Have you heard of
Oh
them?
yeah, I love Tegan and Sarah. They're great stuff. They're great band. I'd love to Tegan and Sarah. If you're watching this somehow, you're across the internet watching this. Like, let's do an interview because I'd love it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just invite Sam to come out and interview you guys instead of me. So there we go. Now, if that ever happens, you will get some sort of message, Sam, and I'll be like, hey, listen. So like Tegan and Sarah hit me up. They
Okay.
like want to do an interview. Would you want to be in replace of me to do the interview? And then we'll go from there. Then you can come up with your own questions and all that stuff.
I would even like provide the water or like open the door or like
No,
I'd do
we're gonna
anything.
let you do it. We're letting you go full. We're full riding it out here. You're definitely gonna have to interview them. I feel like now it's solidified on the internet. So if it happens, then
Okay. Okay.
you could totally send me this video and be like, hey, listen, you said it happened. So if it happens, whatever. So, um, I'm gonna keep to my, this is my promise slash keep to my word video portion, whatever. So if it does happen, Brandon, in the future, you should let her do it. Okay. So anyway, next question, Sam. Um, I always love asking this, and I know I asked you this the last time, but who have you been jamming recently? Who's on your Spotify? What have you been listening to lately?
Yeah. So right now I'm really listening to okay, so the band Muna, Muna.
Okay.
They just put out some new music and it's killer. It's so good. Oh my god, yeah, they're kicking ass right now. Muna. I've been listening to the Aces a lot.
Oh yeah, the Aces, they're
Um,
tight.
they're really cool. One of my favorite new bands right now. They're not new, but Half Noise.
Yes.
Um, they're really rad. And I'll give you one more. It's a band called Peach Pit.
Peach Pit. Okay.
Yeah, they have some really cool tracks. So their like description is chewed up bubblegum pop, but like it's that's their description. But I would say it's like sort of like indie pop. It's really really cool. If you appreciate guitar, which I know you do, like their guitar tones are just really really awesome. So that's what I've been jamming,
That's
keeping it fresh,
awesome.
changing it up a bit.
Keeping it fresh. I like the Aces. I found out about them like um I think it was like a month or two ago because I was like, ironically enough, they like played on my birthday, and I was like,
Oh,
I should just go to this because before I was just like trying to see if there was a show like on my birthday because like that's my thing, and I like going to shows. Like even if I like had to pay for it, I would just go to a show like on my birthday and like
yeah,
have some fun. And something came up where I wasn't able to do it, but I was like, "Oh, the Aces!" I was like, "I should check them out." And then I like checked them out, and I'm like, "That's really sick." So like, I was all about them, but it didn't
yeah.
happen. So hopefully next time I will see the Aces play. Uh,
Oh, okay.
they're really cool. I like checked out their music afterwards, and I was like, "This is on point." So I was definitely about it. Um, but getting back into more of your stuff, Sam. So like, what was like kind of the lyrical process behind like the new song, like and some of the new stuff that you might be writing. Like, is there a certain like perspective you're taking from, or like or because like I know a lot of the stuff that you're writing about in your past EP was like super solid. So are you trying to kind of keep a similar wave, or are you trying to expand like your lyrical perspective and do something else?
Yeah, that's a good question. So okay, so this last song, What Happened? It is about. So I guess as maybe a more general answer to that is I'll always like sing about the same, not the same things, but I don't really think twice about what I write. Like I just
Sure.
kind of, if I feel it, I want to write about it. But it tends to be like personal, like it's lyrics stemming from personal experience. But I also like to kind of take a step outside of myself and like think of broader contexts, like I don't know how this might affect all people, like the human condition, so to speak. So this last song, "What Happened," about the idea of like memory distortion and how like it's actually proven that our memories are not like rooted in fact at all, and we can kind of look back when we look back on the past. Like there's so many things distorting the way we see things that have already happened.
Yeah.
So the song "What Happened" came from like I was going through like a relationship was dissolving, let's say, and I was having this thought where I think one thing of this time in the past, this other person, like what do they think of this time in the past? So like what actually happened then? Like what's the truth? Was it positive? Was it negative? Like I don't know anymore, because these things in the future or current might, distort or change our memories of things that happened before. So like the first lyric is, it's like the first song you never knew and the last song you memorized. And that comes from like when you go to a concert. This is a metaphor for when you go to a concert. Sometimes you don't remember the first song and how good it was, but
That's
you
true.
remember the last song and if it was terrible or if it was great. So it's like, okay, has this happened? Like, has these recent negative events like distorted the positive ones that came before it? So yeah, I always like to sing about, not, I don't know if existential is the word, but like these kind of broader concepts or thoughts that I
Yeah.
just have about being a human being. But then I have some new stuff in the works that's like a little bit more candid and a little bit more like straightforward and raw,
Yeah.
which I'm excited about too, because it's like very for me to just like tell a story and not have this big deep meaning behind it.
No, I like that. And I feel like, you draw a lot from like Julian Baker. I love her stuff. Like, and, I think she, in terms of a comparison, like, not trying to compare music, but like that was the first thing. Like, even when we were like talking the
Yeah.
first time, I was like, Julian Baker. That was like one of the first thoughts that I had that came into my head. And so, like, I like when bands kind of talk about that, like, I wouldn't even say a third person perspective because it's not really, but like, I like when bands kind of take that like outside approach from like if I saw this from somebody else's point of view, like how would things change? Like how would they write that story? And so I think that's really cool, but I think I love even more when somebody's like very honest about how they write, like they write from the heart, and it just like it's those types of songs that have your like hair come up on like off your skin and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that. Like
totally.
that is really cool, and so like I'm glad you're delving into something like that as like a writer, and I feel
Yeah.
like does that like advance your thought process of like creating stuff? Like did you feel like I wouldn't even say you were in a lyrical stalemate, but like how like did you feel like you wanted to write something more honest as opposed to like a lyrical change, or did you want to write something more honest because you feel like I need to be a little bit more like open with how I feel about something versus like just being kind of like I wouldn't say beat around the bush, but like not
Hmm.
being as honest about it per se.
Yeah. So this new song I'm referring to, which I'm in the process of recording slowly with Joe Marcus, who is in the kitchen. um, Sleep on it, yeah. So that's the like really candid one, I think. But no, there was no like, oh, Sammy, you need to start writing things that are more blunt. No, it wasn't that. I just like it just happened. I just wanted to write it. I was just playing my guitar and it just happened. But so yeah, there's I think like for me, it's not necessarily about having songs that are more or less like metaphoric
Hmm.
or not, but rather that like for me as an artist, like this is so important is lyrical integrity. Like
Yeah,
I music that I like, it needs to have like meaning and purpose, and I really like I need it to be like unique to that artist and
sure.
person.
Yeah.
So for myself, like I really value saying something. Like if I have 3.5 minutes on Spotify to like say something, like I want every word to be intentional because like I'm talking to people or
Yeah.
they're listening to me. So like I think that's a really powerful concept, and whether it's metaphoric or whether it's a story, like I want it to have like an impact. Like so I don't know. One of the bands that I follow, I forget who it was. They were saying like some people repeat pre-choruses.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes do, but like I try not to, because you have another chance in the song to say something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe, I don't know, depends on what kind of thing you want to drive home, but that's something I strive for, is like lyrical integrity, and hopefully.
I definitely feel that in like your writing though. Like that was something that I didn't feel like you were lacking. It was just more of a like, I think it was like more of a perspective change from like my point of view as like a fan,
Yeah.
but also like somebody who does like, reviews and stuff. And I felt like over the past couple years, I really haven't delved into a lyrical process. Like obviously there are fantastic lyricists and like writers and people can come up with stuff, but like I feel like as of this year, I've been trying to focus more on like, okay, so like what was their thought process behind like this lyric, or like, especially ones that have a little bit more like thought process, a little bit more like there's a little bit more of a storytelling aspect to what they write. And so for me, as somebody who's kind of like quote unquote new at it, I think it's like really cool to see that side of the spectrum and being like, that I mean, obviously people are creative on whatever respective instrument they are, but I think it takes even more talent to kind of like, like put the words together on a page or like on your computer or whatever, and really kind of create something that, either is like a fantastic story or something that is like, woven with like emotions and like has this sort of draw to it. And I was, like I said earlier, I was really stoked on the song because I was able to listen to not only like the musical aspect of it, and I thought it was awesome. And I think, what you're going through in terms of that sonic point of view is awesome. And, I hope you continue down that path. But like the lyricism behind it was like really cool. I like just the way that, you had thought about it from the perspective of someone else, like viewing the same situation. And I think that was really unique. And I'm excited to see what other kind of lyrical processes you have coming up with like future material.
Oh yeah, stay tuned.
But the last thing, Sam, always gotta ask, tell them about you, where they can find you at, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
Yeah, so you can find me on the internet everywhere. I was gonna say something like under the train stop. I don't know.
You could, yeah.
I actually live like right by a train, so maybe I'll be there. Chicago Blue Line stop.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all that. Tidal, I think. I just found out. Someone was like, "Are you on Tidal?" And I said, "I don't know. Let's find out." Yes, I'm on Tidal. So anywhere you can stream music, I am there. So things coming up for me right now look like mostly just writing. I want to release an EP maybe sometime early next year-ish. So writing, recording, collaborating, and probably a show to come sometime in October, November, but location to be determined.
Oh, there you go. Well, I always love having repeats, and of course, the lovely Sam for coming on. Check the links in the description where you can find out about her music when she's playing. If you live in the Chicago area, please go out and see her. She's killing it. Really had to show some love. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. And thanks, of course, to Sam for coming on again.
Thanks so much for having me, Brandon.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.